Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pop Culture Spread, our fun weekly movie and streaming news show with a twist. If you are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Rick. Hit that like and subscribe button. Also, hit that notification bell. We would really appreciate it. Also, remember, you can hear us on audio podcast on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and where all good podcasts are found. Check out our merch store. Links are down below. Joining me on the show, as always, is the other half of Pop Culture Spread and my good mate, Jason. How are you, buddy?
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Yes, Rick, I am here again, ready to chat about all the movie and streaming news that has been going on this week.
There's a bit going on this week, I have to say. So we've got some really good stories to talk about. So let's get into it, mate. Let's talk big news. Wow, big story this week, mate, about Marvel. And
we don't see the big story at all right now.
No.
Well, are we technical? Well, there we are.
There we go. Crisis at Marvel. Jonathan Majors' backup plans. Marvel's reshoots, reviving original Avengers, and more issues revealed. What the hell is going on in Marvel right now?
Wow, this is a bit of a bombshell article. And there is a lot to unpack what's going on here. But they are basically doing what you consider, Rick, an expose on what's been happening down at Marvel. Because if anybody knows, dude, and you and me, we know because we've been talking about it quite a lot, is the issues with some of the quality of films that have been coming out in Phase 4 and the sheer amount of content that we had been delivered and the ranges of quality of some of that content. Well, wow, they talk about some of that stuff in here. They talk about the issues they had with overworking the CGI people at Marvel. Now they're unionizing, They're talking about the pressure that will put under and the shortcuts that happen, like in She-Hulk and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Both those films had glaring CGI issues. Either shots that weren't complete or out of focus, which is a way to mask some of the less than desirable quality CGI. So they had real problems there. They also came out and they addressed the problem they're having with Jonathan Majors.
That's the big one. That is the big one. This is the
big thing. Well, they don't know what to do, and they don't know a way to move forward at the moment with this because he goes to trial within a month.
So just in case people don't know about this story, he was arrested back in March and 25th in Manhattan.
For domestic violence.
For assault and aggressive harassment.
With his girlfriend at the time.
Alleged domestic dispute with his girlfriend. So,
So that's what's going on there. It's on trial. So we've got to, like everybody that goes up for that, he is innocent until proven guilty at this point. But Marvel going, what are we going to do? Because we built so much around this universe. Currently right now, around Kang, the character, which Jonathan Majors is all about. In fact, in Article 2 addresses the fact that at the end of Loki Season 2, which we haven't seen yet, it apparently solidifies how important Kang becomes moving forward.
What do they do? If he gets convicted.
Well, I don't even have an answer at this point.
They don't
have an answer. And the problem is like they're worried about the PR, everything about it. Like they quoted the person who wrote the article poison to carry to the next phase of Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think that's a bit extreme. That feels like a bit of a hit piece. The other thing they say in this article that feels like, well, now you're just rooting against the film, is the Marvels.
Yeah.
They've come out and been quite critical at that how much extra money it cost to make. It was very expensive. And the reshoots and how it's going to it's expected to make a middling, I mean, there are some red flags, don't get me wrong, but this article was like actively trying to root against the film. And the biggest red flag coming out of the Marvels, Rick, is the fact that you've got it. They're not even showing it to critics till 2 days before release.
There's your problem.
Normally, those films, critics get to see them a month out. People got to see Avengers Endgame like almost 2 months out before public release. It's a sign of confidence. You know, we know we've got a good product. Come and have a look at our good product. It'll help hype, the box office, not this film. So there's some red flags there,
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's very interesting with that. But, the big thing I didn't mention outside going back to Jonathan Majors is on the way out of it, they did discuss this alternate vision that they had been toying with since there, because every year they do an annual getaway, Kevin Feige and the team. They go away to a retreat, they develop stories, plans, review the year, all that stuff. And out of that, there were apparently talks around maybe amping up Doctor Doom and replacing Kang with Doctor Doom as the next big baddie. And how that could be done, which I think is a bit reactionary, because I just go, if he's such a problem, right? In this scenario with Jonathan Majors found guilty, you got to do something. Just recast him.
Like,
everyone will understand. They did that with Rhodey. Nobody cared. Like, just recast him. It'll be fine. The public will understand. It won't ruin the experience. But if he's innocent and he signed a contract, why don't you let him play
all of that contract? You can't can him after it because
they will. They'll cancel him just because of public perception and the prickliness of it. I don't.
It's okay. Look, we've seen this before. With Ezra Miller, with the Flash, and how much he did, and what they were going to go through, and it was back and forth, wasn't it? Do we recast?
They handled that well in the end.
There you go. So
they handled that. But there's big problems down at Marvel, and the other thing is, you remember they had one of their main executives who oversaw Ant-Man and the Wasp. She was fired earlier this year too from Marvel, and she'd been there since day dot. And they got kind of rid of her. They've got a lot of problems, and then you add the whole situation with COVID, with the whole the Disney model of well, we're just going to create streaming content, streaming. Creating the Marvel fatigue that I've been suffering for quite a long time.
You've been saying that for a very long time, though.
Yeah, about over a year now. I've been kind of going, hey, this stuff. And I felt like I was late to the party because my son, who is 27, and is probably a good indicator because he's growing up in many ways with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He was out a couple of years ago. He was going, Dad, they're just not good. They're not great. I can't watch them anymore. They're just bad movies.
So he's been out. That's it.
Yeah, he's been out quite a while. He's not a Marvel Studios fan. Though I do believe he's going to watch Loki season 2, which is amazing. If I can, Anyway, such a huge story, this one. And it very much does feel part expose, hit piece. There's some truth to it. It feels like there's some sensationalism to it. You've got to check out the article, though, guys, and we'll put it down in the links. But you can easily find it on Variety because it's on its main page, basically. Go to variety.com to go check it out because it's definitely worth reading and it's very complex. You can look at how long that article is, and then you've got your comments on that as well. So it's all happening, and it's a huge story because, the time of Marvel Studios is in decline. Whether some of this story is not true or not, the public perception is it's a new dawn.
We'll see. We will see. All right, Jace. Let's get into some other news. We'll talk about some streaming, Jace. One of the big shows of all time. HBO orders a new Game of Thrones prequel and the Big Bang Theory spin-off series. I don't know about the spin-off series, but the Game of Thrones series. But are your thoughts on this one, mate? Are we do we really need a spin-off
Well-
series of
Well, HBO Max must have money to spend because we do know Game of Thrones isn't on the cheap side. So, yeah. Look, I don't know. I'm surprised they are definitely in the Game of Thrones business, aren't they? Because remember, they've just come out with House of Dragon, which was critically and publicly well received. Like, people loved it. We also had a whole nother show that they filmed a pilot for and got canned, if you remember. Yeah, so they've had hits and they've also had a failure already. But if they've got a good solid idea and the audience is there, I'm down for it.
Yeah.
The Big Bang Theory. Like,
No.
The Big Bang Theory is one of these shows where you can say what you like about it. It may not be your cup of tea, but it is hugely successful.
Correct.
I mean, globally, just a phenomenon. And that can't be ignored. It is just a huge thing. And
12
even
seasons.
Young Sheldon has done very well
Was
for
it?
itself.
Has that done really well?
Apparently done very well for
God.
itself.
Yeah.
So for them, again, to go into the Big Bang Theory and do a spin-off, yeah, but I think if you're going to do it, you don't go backwards now. You've got to get the some of the original cast members to return. And I think what they'll do is like the Frasier Cheers thing,
That was
where they'll grab one of the characters like Rajesh, and it'll be a series just about him with a whole, living somewhere else with a whole new bunch of people.
Yeah.
So I think that's where they'll go. But hey, HBO, if they're very confident in streaming, and let's be honest, Big Bang Theory is going to be a lot cheaper to do than Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Sure. Oh, for sure. I mean, it ran for 12 seasons. You know, it won 10 Emmys, 55 Emmy nominations. Like, it's a successful show. Like you said, it's not for everyone. But, I don't really. I didn't really get into it. So,
no. So,
but they think,
yeah. So yeah, like, it's good luck to them. I mean, I haven't even watched all of House of Dragon yet, so I'll get there.
Yeah. I don't know. HBO know what they're doing. But does Disney know what they're doing, Jay?
They are the big mouse in town, aren't they?
Mate, they're just throwing out the cash. Disney will take full control of Hulu after paying Comcast $8.61 billion. What is Disney doing? They just want to control everything in the market.
It's now healing the festering wound that had been there all along, Rick, and that was they didn't own all of Hulu. You know, with the purchases of Fox and everything, all of it, it's used to owning something outright. And it was limiting and complicating their streaming kind of deals and things like that.
Yeah.
You know, and the acquisition of Comcast's stake in Hulu at fair market value will further Disney's streaming objectives, Disney said in a statement. So, and they're right. So they're basically saying, like, it'll just help Disney control all the streaming. What content goes here and there and all that kind of thing. So there'd be current deals with Hulu have for shows and networks that may cease or may strengthen. So, you know, who knows? So
we don't have Hulu here in
Australia. We don't. We do not have Hulu in Australia. And Disney owning it outright could possibly mean
bring that over.
That it'll come over.
Yeah.
And wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that
what
be
awesome? What's their main shows they have all on Hulu? What's their I don't really know much about it. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, Hulu's had a lot of the great animation lives on there. Futurama, Final Space.
Yeah.
And a lot of other good shows that we know of, but like actually I don't know because I've never been exposed to Hulu. But I have seen the images on the internet every now and again with a whole list of shows. But I felt like they used to have a lot of NBC stuff before Peacock happened and things like that.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm sure our American friends out there could give us a sample of.
Let us know.
Hulu.
Yeah.
So
you hear about it all the time. So Hulu. Jace, you and the next story, mate. I know you touched briefly about Loki. But it seems
Yes.
that things aren't great over there at the moment. Loki debuts low in streaming rankings. I mean, it's such a great show. Like, we're thoroughly enjoying it. I know you're enjoying it. There's a lot of people out there
I
enjoying
think
it.
it's a
but
brilliant show. I think it's far superior to the season 1. I think
Yeah.
Loki season 2 is just incredible storytelling.
But the numbers
Yeah,
don't show
I'm
it.
not surprised though, Rick. I'm not surprised because of what I will repeat myself again and
Yeah.
again, Marvel fatigue. I think even at this point, that was 2 years ago, the first season, right?
Yeah.
Loki came out pretty well just after WandaVision, wasn't it?
Pretty much.
No, it was Captain
no.
America and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Captain America, Winter Soldier, and then Loki. And even by then, it was still kind of fresh and exciting. But a couple of years later, you know, with all the content and all the problems they've had, yeah, like I'm not surprised it's lower. It's a shame because it's better quality.
Yeah. I mean, what are the numbers? What do they say? Disney said
Well,
that the
it's
season
interesting. What's really interesting from this story, Rick, is like getting to understand how they do ratings these days. Because look at this. Season 2 of the Marvel series premiered October 5th, which is crazy. That's like a month ago now. And it gathered 446 million minutes of viewing time, over its first 3 days and change. So 446 million minutes. All right, remember that term, minutes. It was released at 9 p.m. October 5th in the United States, according to the Nielsen streaming rankings. That's about 39% lower than the 731 million minutes viewing for the Loki's premiere in 2021.
What?
Right?
Big
So
drop.
this is what's interesting, like, because this is where Disney said that the season 2 premiere, which runs 47 minutes, had 10.9 million views worldwide, which would equate to about 512 million minutes of watch time. So there's 10 million times almost 11 million times somebody's pressed play, right?
Yep.
But how they work out, how you get your ratings, is this. The increasingly standard definition of a streaming view is the total viewing time divided by the run time. So that's how they work it out. So it's not only how many times it's been clicked, but that person that clicked, how many minutes did they watch? And they do the math, that they divide it by each other, and they come up with a number, and that's how they do their rate. I just thought that was absolutely fascinating. So, because, Nielsen ratings was always just a number of how many people were watching it.
Yeah.
But now it's not just about watching it, because as you know, dude, you can start watching stuff. I do it on YouTube all the time. And a minute later, I'm out of there. I'm watching something completely different. So it's about how long they watched. Even for us that do this show, if somebody clicks on the show and only watches 5 seconds, I don't even think that registers as a view for
As a view.
They have to be watching a
certain
amount of time.
Yep.
So very cool, I thought. But it's the way it is. Not always the best shows get the best ratings, but Loki season 2, guys. There's a
few. There's a saying. There's a list here. It is a great show.
What were you saying there, Rick?
I was just saying. I was having a look in the article. There was some lists of like original series, like Ahsoka, 575 million.
I can see the top 10 here on the screen. Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah.
So,
just, breaks it down different movies.
Yeah, overall, Suits.
Billions.
Show that Megan, 1.28 billion units viewed. Grey's Anatomy, 1 billion. Haunted Mansion. I don't even watch that yet.
No, I haven't watched it.
992 million. Reptile. What is that?
That's with
Disney are doing not too bad.
Elementals aren't bad. I've seen that. I enjoyed that.
But what's really interesting about that list, though?
Meg 2.
What list are you looking at? Oh, okay, we got original series.
Under movies.
I was looking at overall.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got original series, and then you had Ahsoka being number 2, and some of the names that we know, and then you've gone down to movies. All right,
wow.
There we go. The movies, Haunted Mansion by a mile. By my
I don't get
reptile.
it.
Don't know what it is. No, I
Elemental
do
was
get
good.
it. I do get it. If you just look at it overall, to me that indicates, and this may sound misogynistic, ladies, so please don't hate on me. It might be just my simplistic view. But a lot of that stuff very much looks like family or female centered audience. Like Suits.
Right.
Like, how many
Yeah.
blokes do you know going, oh man, did you
I
watch
watched
Suits
it.
last night?
Nah.
It's killer. No, nobody's saying that.
No,
Right? Same with
that's
Grey's
right.
Anatomy. Grey's Anatomy is a show.
Oh, big fan.
with
Big fan of
yeah,
Grace.
that's right. You know, Haunted Mansion is family. Bluey is absolutely family.
Yes,
Love is
definitely.
Blind would definitely be romance.
Gilmore Girls.
Girls is absolutely. NCIS, females love NCIS, right? People love that procedural kind of stuff. Elementals family, Coco Melon, I don't know what that is. But either way,
Yeah,
I think
interesting.
it's like that females probably watch more streaming than males do. Interesting.
Oh, that's interesting. And then you look at the original series. You look at the Beckham series, which is a great, absolute great
Yeah.
documentary. I really enjoyed that.
I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. And
Yeah.
you don't have to be into soccer or anything like that. You will really enjoy it.
Yeah, I've got to get on
Very-
that. That's a
very
good
cool.
recommendation.
Speaking
Yeah.
of TV shows, this was quite interesting. How Chuck Lorre reunited with Charlie Sheen for a new Max comedy series. Holy shit. Does that mean we get to
Yes.
see Charlie Sheen back at what he does best? This is
Well,
interesting.
I think it's a pretty funny story, and just goes to show how Hollywood works. Sometimes these guys had a very famous falling out
Correct.
with 2.5 Men, which was a good sitcom,
It was.
funny, cheeky, almost R-rated sitcom, and Charlie Sheen was good in it. You didn't have to like the show or not, but he was a massive global sensation. Again, same guy that did Big Bang Theory, Chuck Lorre. So
There you go.
the fact they had a big falling out, I think Charlie Sheen probably looks back at that time now and goes, man, yeah, I was cooked. The whole Tiger Blood thing scenario and that. Yeah,
right.
like
The cocaine and hookers and
yeah,
everything.
cocaine and all that. You know, it was an insane time for him. But yeah, Hollywood's a new place, isn't it? So they've come out and apparently it was Chuck Lorre who looked at this script for this character and just went, it's not the starring role. It's for a show called How to Be a
That'd be a
Bookie,
bookie. Yeah.
starring Sebastian Maniscalco.
Oh, Maniscalco.
Yeah, he's a comedian.
He's amazing. He's really good.
Yeah,
He's-
okay.
Yeah.
Well, he's got his own show run by Chuck Lorre, and
Wow.
they
Okay.
want Charlie Sheen in a role for it. So, and it was Laurie that said it should be Charlie. I remember Charlie was very much engaged in sports betting, and he would tell me stories about it all the time. When things were good. So they reached out and they reconnected. And it was also said I was nervous, but as soon as we started talking, I remembered we were friends once. Laurie said, and that friendship just suddenly seemed to be there again. I don't want to be too mawkish about it, but it was healing. And he totally came to make fun of himself. When he came to the table read of that episode, I walked up, we hugged. It was just great.
So they've come full circle. That's good.
And then right at the end, he talked about the table read, but what he said about the experience, he said about Charlie, he proceeded to kill it at the table read. His chops were just so finely tuned, as if we had not missed a beat. So,
Wow.
which is great, which is fantastic. I think this is a great, positive, good news story because
It is.
you know what I mean. Charlie Sheen has been through the ringer. There's no doubt about it. Poor decision making, he's done it all, right? So.
That's
But he's
interesting.
an
So he's
amazing
not the main.
performer, and I've loved Charlie Sheen ever since I was a kid. So I'd like him to see him go well because when he was on fire in 2.5 Men,
He was on it. He was on point, mate. He just nailed everything.
amazing.
Comedic point
Yeah.
was just on point.
And he's always been a great actor, always. Even back when he was in things like The Wraith, or his big part at the end of Ferris Bueller. He's always been amazing. So, I think that was.
So he's not the main character. He's a supporting character. So it looks like
he's going to play like someone because I think the main guy's playing a bookie.
Okay, so Sebastian Maniscalco is playing a bookie,
and I think he's going to be somebody who gambles.
I think those two will connect really, really well. I can see it. If you don't know who Sebastian is, check out The Irishman, which is a phenomenal movie. He's in that. He plays Crazy Joe Gallo, which is amazing. Yeah. And he was in Super Mario Brothers as well, which he played Spike. He's done a lot of like smaller part movies.
Yeah, I know of him. I do know of him. Yeah,
he's really good. So I'm keen to definitely check that out for sure.
Yeah. And it's never a bad thing to add talent to your show. And
no,
Charlie Sheen
correct. Wow. Let's get into the train wreck of the week, Jace, because this is an absolute doozy, mate. I'll let you. This is.
All right, Rick. You gonna let me take this one, are you?
Take this one, mate.
Yeah, I'm really. Let's just put our hearts and souls out for poor Alan Ruck this week, who the Succession star, unfortunately, crashed a truck into a pizza joint. So
now we should laugh.
Alan Ruck, there he is there. Yeah, poor guy.
God,
look.
Yeah,
look at the footage of the truck though. The side he got that thing in there big time, right? That's pretty great. That's pretty great. So, yeah. So, poor guy. I mean, like, what happens? And we've got like stopping for nothing. Does that play it? Let's see if we can. Do we actually get to see the footage of it actually happening? Oh, there's the car there. You can see with the red arrow. Boom! Oh, you saw the corner of the screen.
What is he? Was he drunk or was he just...
Oh, no. Well, Rick, I can tell you I have exclusive... We have secured the exclusive footage of him prior to that accident.
Fantastic.
So check this footage out of him before he left to go out that night.
He'll keep calling me. He'll keep calling me until I come over. He'll make me feel guilty. This is ridiculous, okay? I'll go.
That was his first mistake. He shouldn't have gone.
Jeez, he's looking good there.
Yeah, like it was a tough car ride, I can say that much. But,
wow.
There you go. Thankfully, Alan Ruck is just fine. So.
And yes, no one died in the accident. No one was hurt or injured, which is great. Thank God. But,
It was a train wreck, it was a car wreck, but nobody else got wrecked. So there you go. That's it, Rick.
Right.
That's it for the train wreck of the week. But we're not done, are we?
We are not done. We're going to go into our favorite bit of the show, which I absolutely love, because we get to show you guys who aren't from Australia what we can offer here in Australia. So, Jace, let's get into some great Aussie telly.
Tell you what, any boss who sacks anyone for not turning up to die is a bum.
You know, Rick, on this, I've been showing commercials of old Australian ads, things that are quite nostalgic.
Yeah.
You know, and some of the great ads, right? But, you know, far be it for us not to highlight some of the newer ads, like the more modern ways that we market to potential customers out there in the world of advertising. And this particular ad, not only does its best job to kind of sell you on the product, it terrifies you at the same time. Mm-hmm. Let's have a look at the ad for Roof Seal.
Oh, when your roof is getting lost between the lichen and the moss, when your mortar isn't where it ought to be, and give it back that old appeal with a visit from Roof Seal. 1336 7070. Hi, I'm the Roof Seal. Let me clean, replace tiles, repair mortar, and recoat your roof for a fraction of new roof price. 1336 7070. Roof.
That seal is terrifying, Rick.
It looks like Marvel did that.
It's a really good example of that ad of aiming for big ideas with small budgets, clearly. Because, like, that thing, the lips didn't even match to the song. It was like it was dubbed over. But I always,
Just-
that's a creepy looking seal, eh?
you remember it. People remember it.
You remember
Little
it for
jingle.
sure.
Yep.
But, God love them, Rick, for having a big idea with a small budget. Thought that they could pull it off.
Yeah.
And they're not the only ones, all right? And have a look at this next ad from, well, it's a catchy one, but have a look.
Bluemobile will come to you.
Tell me more, Bluemobile.
On 133032.
Tell me more, Bluemobile. Bluemobile can do the lots.
All more offers on the spot.
There's just one thing you need to do.
On 133032.
For everything mechanical, we've got it.
They'll fix the car.
Bluemobile will come to you. 133032.
That's 133032.
I mean, come on.
It's the kid. No.
It's the kid. It's a cheap looking ad, but man, they put all the money into the music, don't they? The jingle is on point for that, all right?
Yeah.
And both they are. I will stand by and say Australians commercials, the guys that do the jingles, world class. Some of our jingles, mate, because they're earworms, aren't they? They're all earworms designed to get in there. You're not getting that thing out, so.
And it stays for days on end.
So there you go. That's what we're currently still seeing on television for commercials. That's the quality of commercials that we have here.
They are.
Big ideas, little budgets. So, yeah.
I love it. Love it, Jace. Well, that about wraps everything up, mate, for this week's show, which has been great. Thank you for everyone who has tuned in and watched and all that. We really, really appreciate it. Jace, how about you tell everyone where they can catch you besides you're on this show, but you are on some other shows as well, Jace?
Yep, absolutely. Of course, you can find me over in the Jason Roy Gaston
There he
channel. You can see me looking goofy in the corner there. There's a lot going on over there. I'm on several shows with that insane Texan. And you can check us out on VHS Vault, The Power of J-Skull, which is our He-Man show. We've got a weekly show where we do talk about lots of TV shows called If You Don't Agree, You're Wrong, because we're old and cantankerous. And then finally, we've just started up a streaming gaming channel with me called Switcheroo, where we have a look at all Nintendo Switch games and anything to do with Nintendo. We're playing games, having a bit of fun.
Nice.
And it's hilarious because A, I'm super old, and B, no, not that old, but old enough to be going, you wouldn't expect a 50-year-old to be streaming. And secondly, I'm really bad at them. So you can laugh at me. I laugh at me. So come along and join in the fun. So check that out. Also with Jason as well, and I'm a bit of responsible behind the scenes and all that, is Captain's Quadrant. Check them out every Thursday night American time at 9 p.m. They just did the season finale of Lower Decks, which was a really great episode. So check them out on Captain's Quadrant. Look at Captain's Quadrant YouTube, and away you go. But that's it. But most importantly, don't forget to check out all the wonderful stuff we have here sitting on this channel. Yep. Not just all these episodes, but all the great trailer reactions you do.
So much we do. We're still doing the trailer reactions. We've still got a whole heap of back catalogs with sort of everything in there. So it's really cool content which we've been doing over the years. So
and I will expect a few trailer reactions to drop in the next 24 hours, Rick, because I personally have seen about 4 new big ones come out.
There are some big ones which have come in. We just check out the latest one we did for Planet of the Apes, which was just
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes looks very cool. Very cool. So
check that out. All the links are down below, guys. Appreciate it. Jace, it's been a pleasure as always, mate. Thank you so much, mate. And we will catch you and everyone next week. Bye for now.
See ya. Thanks for watching the Pop Culture Spread YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Also, don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. And if you're looking for some quality wear, don't forget to check out our merchandise store, available right now.